Hello and welcome to another solo squad game. So, where were they going? Over, I think. Right. So, overall a bit happier with that last one. Just, once again, not thrilled about losing, obviously, so easily in the firefight at the end of it. Now we're going to that bit. So we do have people nearby. Well, relatively nearby, and this is taking a while. Didn't get the right drop on that opening with the shoot, but possibility for some time before anyone shows up, depending on where they're going. Yeah, pick up. Cool. It's a nice start. It's nice as well. I got a lot of ammo. For the moment, I'll pick that one up as well for short range bits. Prefer also if they're close to burst, but may not keep it for very long depending on what else we find. Also depends on how long we last here as well, and how quickly someone else comes in. Always take a pan if we can. Has useful utility on that. It says used to it. Depends what else we find. First about pistol stuff, as we've already got multiple proper weapons. What is around? Compensator. If we end up retaining both, that could be useful on the shorter range one. What else was that? Pick that up though, because was just a pistol thing. Yep. Whole door and room to look through. Yeah. No, I don't want purple jackets. Right, what do we have around here? Shotgun. Not even shotgun's hiding somewhere. Okay, next one. See if we can get the rest of this. There, where have we gone? Wrong part of the house. The stairs are here on this house. Remember where you are. See if we can get the rest of the compound done before other people show up. Nothing much in this one. Oh, he says skipping a first aid kit. Almost done. We got up to the ridge after that. Definitely have one of them. Right, so is anyone visible in that direction? As we saw people drop over in that sort of quarry-ish bit. Can't see any movement over there. So let's see if we can quickly scrim through this one. No, gas isn't what I'm personally looking for right now. It's just plain. Right, go through a couple of the huts as well then. You can go on this one, as can you and you and you, because in all seriousness I'm more interested in the one I'll use for short range, getting the aim bonuses. If I'm engaging at range, I'm more likely to have a stable position and able to take my time on the shots. So if that's a dot, we'll swap that one over on this for now. Well, momentarily anyway, once you've finished grabbing odds. I wouldn't mind a better hat, or the more obvious suppressor and scope options. but they're not all that common, are they? Or they might be if you do well at where you drop, but don't. Oh, hat. I don't have too many options on this one, really. Some of the more loot-rich areas are quite popular for groups of people that we're only going to stand a chance on once we already have stuff, which does make getting the stuff that little bit more awkward. Alright, we got another. I don't need a second red dot, I don't think. I'll take the hollow. I haven't got too much health stuff yet, so I will actually take that too. And a few odds. Overall, mostly looking for those couple of peripheral bits, really. Is there people down there? Yes, people are now in those houses. See some little black specks running around. So definitely a good time to not be in sight range at the moment, as there's numerous ones of them. And they'll have had enough time to get a few good weapons. And realistically, we need some muzzle bits, even if it's not a full-on suppressor before we go on. Take them on. Try and get some done at range before hitting them. Let's see whether this is... Doors are shut. Can't see any movement for the moment. No, not interested in those bits. As I say, pistol things aren't overly... Don't need another one of them. So interested in continuing to move away from where we know people are for just the moment until we can... Dear me. Until we can get a few more bits and pieces, or we're a bit more forcibly required to engage. If we had some sort of scope or some sort of suppressor maybe, then that's more of an option as we get a bit of range or hideability before properly engaging. Right. What do we got? What do you got on them? The ammo makes me a lot happier about rolling two of the same ammo type gun. And this one, then there's nothing. We will pick up one of the smokes, I suppose. This bit is quite open if we have issues. There's bits around. Where are the bits on this one? They're further down, aren't they? Let's go. Do go further down, because we still need more stuff, really. And the top of that hill is quite open if anyone is watching. So what do we got around here? Lots of trees. And we angle over a little bit. I would expect these to have people in. That's just a bit of fence I was looking at there. I was spotting in. Can't see any movement, which doesn't always mean all that much. They could be upstairs. Can't hear any steps, so if they're up there, they are staying quiet. I will grab one of them to put in my backpack though. That's, yeah, no, that's just a pistol. Mag? Maybe not then. Doors are all shut, stuff on the floors everywhere. Not great stuff, but there are bits, and not too much in this house really. We want to go out. Oh, why'd you have to drop a zone on top of us? At some point or other I am just going to get hit by it while running around. It'll shorten things considerably. Might try and get to those two larger barnish houses. A little bit open from the town though. Might go in the other door. Now we've got a choice. Do we want to drop one of the assault rifles from an ump? I'm just going to scope the place out first before making proper choices on that. Yeah, not too much here, is there? So maybe they've already went through some people, but then the doors are all shut. Now it's something 2 times. Now, which one do we keep hold of? I think I might keep hold of this one, to be honest. You put 2 times on you. Right, some of these aren't there, hopefully quick enough. I'm not actually fussed about picking up more ammo for this one. I think we do have enough. And I want the space for other things, especially as we don't have a proper size pack just yet. We got standard is more interesting. There's another plane. Let's see if we can. Wrong way. I want to go to that side. That's where the other one of these is. I don't really want to stay here too long, do I? Already got one of those. Okay, we have a vehicle. They might have driven off though. Is it tailed off rather than stopped? Plus, I can't immediately hear any footsteps, which is a good sign. But no, we don't want to stay here for too much longer. Finish and get out. Right. Stay here a moment. Where's that circle ended up moving to? So we sort of want to go back on ourselves a little bit, unfortunately. Back that way. So do we have everything on we need? Yes. Don't have a proper frag, so we'll leave it with the stun. Looking at just compensators. So we have... Wrong button. There. Yeah, so we do have muzzle bits, but they're not useful for staying quiet. And we're in the right center of a red bit, so this could be very short. Alright, so let's see what... Oh, that vehicle... No, that wasn't. That's a dead one, you idiot. I was about to say that vehicle did stop on top of us. I just was talking bollocks. That was the rusted one. How are we going to get out of this one quick enough? Not sure we are. No, the vehicle haven't gone. Oh dear. Yeah, no interest in going for that right now. We knew there were people by us just previously that would have been in the air or down by the time, quite happily while they were around, so they would have known that and gone to it. So they're either watching it or have already taken it. So I'm quite comfortable not looking at that drop there, as I'm fairly sure that there are people either on it or fighting over it right now, with those shots being a bit muffled by the artillery shells or whatever it is over there. However, we knew there were people up here earlier, So one other thing we need to be cautious of is finding somewhere to... I think that's in one of those compounds or by the... I knew people were in that house there. So a little bit more. I don't think we're over enough. Don't think we're moving quick enough. We're quite obvious to anyone there. Yes, there are people in that direction. And for the moment, I'm not sure overly, to be honest, where to get more stuff from. We only did the first few of these. So maybe, but then the likelihood of getting what we want, a longer scope or a suppressor, is remarkably low. So we may just have to go with the idea of engaging someone, which could prove interesting. Now, did I properly? I have loaded both. Not massively fond of trying to clear a house solo if there's a group in there. So, for the moment, I'll wait for it to close up a little bit, maybe, unless forced. And see if there's anywhere we can snag a few other options from. That isn't really something we want. Nothing there. Pet, what was that? No, bed dot, no, not first, thanks. So, to a bush for a moment to consider. Where do we want to go? We're fairly, the circles, so there are going to be movement along this direction, although whether they'll come up and along or just move over to the other houses. Interesting. Also, there's a possibility of a selection of people from the south and east moving in, so people not from nearby as well. In which case, we possibly want to have a look at being able to get the drop on people coming from this direction or down the hill from this direction, although they might be a bit too far away to reliably engage from here. Let's move in a bit to try and not just give away over the hill sighting, as we'd be up against the nice sky and really obviously visible. Now, the main concern for this bit, and is a significant issue when you're on your own really, is people just coming up from behind while you're, like, the amount of directions you can actually cover at any one point is obviously quite limited. That's not very useful, is it? Too much grass. I need to move a bit from here. It's not quite as useful as I wanted. Down to the bush. Although there might be people back in those houses still, which would prove painful. Yeah, you're a bit too obvious, aren't you, mate? Let's do that for the moment. Not overly helpful either. Okay, not quite big enough to be of use. Now, are they likely to still be there? I don't think they are, to be quite honest with you. Well, that's... it's not too close. But yes, those houses are now also still out of the next area, so over this, possibly, how many are going to be coming from the north as well? So yeah, that bit and through those hills, that actually has reasonable possibility of people coming from there, and it sounds like they actually are. So we're going to need to find somewhere a bit more useful for that. Let's go to there for the moment, because we're not actually all the way up anymore. It's not large enough either. Let's see if we go back up the hill. Got a few trees and some rocks if necessary, but there are shots coming from up or over that direction. So I want to try and get height advantage back again in case they come closer. I don't think I've got the right angle for it from right just there though, do I? No, you're not going to do that either way. Right. Bit over. Wait a moment, see if anyone's coming through this bit or if it was from further over in the trees. Sound of the shots is possible. I just can't see anywhere for it to be coming from. Can't see any movement, nor hits or anything, but it's definitely coming from over that way due to sound. So the only concern is if they get a bit closer and come over this ridge rather than proceeding directly, because that bit's all within as well. Ooh, that's concerning. I'm not sure I've got... Well, so having said that, we don't have length of sight, no, but we don't have a good scope either. So it's not like we can overly engage at significant range. So, and we know there are people in this direction, so we've got a reasonable cover position with the option of just jumping off pretty much over the edge. I'm just expecting them to come a bit quicker. It depends on the exact direction they go, whether they come along the ridge or have gone to my right further over in the trees still. Because I would think going, like choosing to go down when you've got this option would be a bit silly. But yeah, they might be. They indeed look like they are. Someone running left, to the left, sorry. A couple of them. Or are you coming back up? You might be coming back up. And if they breach the top up over there, I think I'm going to need to, yeah. Which direction are you looking at? You are looking backwards. So there are others from in the blue. What direction do we look at? Yeah, the 4 times that would have been extremely interesting. Yeah, he's following his friend there, so maybe that wasn't so much looking backwards but going back to help someone or to try and grab something and deciding against it. Switch back to this in case people come up from a lot closer than I'm expecting. This is quite possible given the sighting we've got, although we may need to move further soon. Where? Might be worth taking a peek over this little ridge. Because I can see there's... Doesn't appear to be anyone coming straight down the road section of this little bit. Doesn't seem to be anyone just to our left, which means if anyone is close, they are to our right. And we're going to have to run anyway shortly, so we'll just wait for that to ping. Okay, we've got quite a distance then, as far as this late on goes. So that's a mushroom house. We're going to go and have a peek over this little bit first off. See if there is anyone sneaking more to our north. And then we shall hook round. Shit, yep, there is. Could not even see them. I heard them and I got hit by them, but I could not see that. That was poor. Well, that was irritating. Irritatingly quiet all round, that one. And a very irritating end. I don't mind losing if you've got a firefight going on, but not even seeing them is just annoying.